Welcome back to In Ohio Country Today, and with me I have Jackie Seibert. We're here at United Equity in beautiful downtown Delphus. Jackie, United Equity is a supplier of a lot of things. One thing that what I'd like to do is have you talk a little bit about the history of United Equity, and maybe what makes United Equity a little bit unique in being a supplier to the local farmers here in the area.
Sure. United Equity is actually the merger of two separate cooperatives. We had one in Delphus, known by Equity Elevator Company, and one in Spencerville, known by the Farmers Union. And both of them started out back in the early 1900s. And in 1983, that's when the merger took place between the two companies. As United Equity, our main focus right now is to be full service ag for our farmers. We feel that it is our responsibility to make sure we can supply them with all the services and products that they need to be a profitable farm.
So when you're talking about, products and services, that's one thing. But United Equity is owned by the producers.
That's correct. That is the background of a cooperative. We do service with the people that own us. So in turn, when our profits come around, they go right back to the farmers.
Well, you talked about all the services and things that you provide. You want to talk a little bit about, obviously, there's agronomy and there's feed. You want to talk a little bit about each one of those services you provide for the farmers?
Sure. As far as the agronomy, I would say that that's probably the biggest push that we're experiencing now, and a lot of that is because of the regulations that are coming around with the algal bloom and the regulations as they put toward that. Because of that, we put a lot of focus on our products, our services, our application, as well as training the farmers in those areas. And through that, we're watching technology increase. We're, putting equipment into our application equipment to assist them in that area.
Well, you're talking about the requirements, and obviously the algae bloom. We talk about that, and not only in the western basin of Lake Erie. It's also occurring at the mouth of the Mississippi River. Agriculture's got to do their part to be responsible citizens and to take care of and be environmentally sound. So when we talk about the other things, part of that is a lot of new regulations come in as far as application of those fertilizers and things, and many producers really, quite frankly, don't want to invest the money in technology or want to go through the necessary steps to make sure that they have the proper licenses.
Sure. And that responsibility comes back on us being the supplier of the products. We have the responsibility, so we have to make sure that they follow the regulations as best we can. And in doing so, we're blessed with a staff that is able to talk to the customers and explain to them, the reason things need to be done the way they need to be done.
Yeah, as that's a great point that you made. As the supplier, if somebody's not necessarily certified to handle that pesticide, that herbicide, and or apply that fertilizer, you have as much more responsibility in furnishing the product to the producer who's not certified to do so.
That's correct. That's correct.
So the other thing that you guys do, and we just talked about a little bit before we got started, was supplying feed. I mean, I think that's another thing that you guys are doing quite a bit of.
True. Back in 2008, we had expanded our feed mill down at our Spencerville location to include toll milling for some of the local sow units around here. We watched that grow tremendously within just a few short years. Now we're looking at how to expand out further in that area with all the different livestock that's being brought into our area.
That's it's interesting you mentioned that because, and I've heard other folks talk about this. The corn that's produced. We are very fortunate in this part of the state of Ohio that all the corn that's produced here normally doesn't get shipped out like it used to. You used to figure out how you were going to put corn on a train and send it somewhere else, but now corn goes out as value added, and that's a very important thing for the producers of United Equity's customers, as well as many other producers.
That's correct. It's nice having not just the livestock producers around here, but the ethanol plants as well. It is also bringing a product back to us with the DDGs that is a value added product for the feed side as well.
We talk about, and we talk to folks, at the Corn Growers Association, the Soybean Association. We meet regularly with them, visit with them on the show, and they're always talking about how we can really bring value added products and sell those from stuff produced here versus shipping the raw product out.
That's correct, Alan. With the products that are brought into our facilities, we're watching them turn around and come back to our farmers, whether it be through the feed that we feed or through the ethanol, which is then passed into our fuel tanks. United Equity is a co-op that likes to bring services to our customers, and as much as we can find products that will bring more service, more products back to them, we try to include them.
So we've talked about a lot of the products and stuff and the services you offer. And behind every good manager and every good company, there's a lot of key people. You want to tell us a little bit about the folks that you have that do such a great job for you here?
Oh, most definitely. We have a full staff of great employees that I could speak of every single one of them, but we don't have time for that today. So we'll focus on a few of them. At our agronomy facility that is managed by Dan Hain, that's the Delphus location. He does an excellent job. He loves his seed and he loves the technology about the seed as well as the fertility program that backs it up. He has brought a lot of service to our customers in this area, and we can tell with the increased seed sales and products at that facility. Our other agronomy facility is down at Kossuth, and that's ran by Ben Remfer, and he's got a great staff down there that backs him up. They're always working to find new products and new innovation to service those farmers down there, and they do a great job. We've watched a lot of growth down there, and I'm sure a lot of that is because of the service and the personalities behind that service. In our feed area, we have a Spencerville location as well as a Neptune location, and both of them have custom grinding down there. David Meyer runs a Spencerville location, and at that location we have a toll milling service. And because of his background in the hog producing area, he has been able to bring a lot of service to that toll mill. And over at Neptune, which is the area that we've watched really increase, we obtained that location back in 2011, and that location has done well above expectation.
Jackie, we've talked about product services. Give us a little bit of your background, what might make your expertise and your involvement in agriculture a little unique in your position here at United Equity.
Well, I was born on a small couple 100-acre farm in Fort Jennings, Ohio, and I absolutely loved being out there with Dad. Can't say that I really helped him a lot, but I loved being out there. My job was raising the chickens and collecting the eggs. And once you're raised in agriculture, I don't think you ever lose that drive for agriculture. So when I got this job here back in 1989 with United Equity, I was very thrilled to be back with the farmers. It's a very fun job. It's a unique job. There aren't too many of them out here that are like this. And I think it's my passion for it is a lot of my drive for always making sure we have everything that we can supply our owners, stockholders with to make them a profitable company. Currently, my husband is a farmer, full-time farmer on a few 100 acres, so I'm still living the dream.
Well, not only we talk about, and we know each other from, not only agriculture, but being involved in supporting 4-H youth at FFA. That's a huge thing, at least for us, and I know for United Equity and for yourself personally as well.
Oh, most definitely, Alan. I absolutely love to be there for the kids. My truthful thought is that we need to back those kids. We need to keep the interest in agriculture, and we need to keep them educated so that they want to come back to us. It's those kids that bring the innovation and the technology to us for the growth that we see.
That's interesting you mentioned that because my sons are all involved in one shape or form or another on our farm. And they're like, well, Dad, now we need to be using this piece of technology. And, we have a little bit of, my brothers and I have a little bit of disagreement once in a while when that technology doesn't work and they have to figure out how to fix it for us.
That's right. And it's those younger kids that always seem to do it. You can struggle with it for hours and they seem to have it right away. But it's that they're learning their education that they have had, bringing that to the farm. I think we see a lot of farmers around here. Things change when the kids come back, and I would have to say most of the time it's pretty good. It's very much for the good.
Well, Jackie, we've talked about, things in the past, which you currently do, but we always have to kind of look ahead. So maybe give us a little bit of insight what here at United Equity you see as the future for you, what your board's looking at.
Oh, definitely. My board and I are always trying to look at the future, trying to expand upon what we currently have to bring more value to the farmers, because we all know the elevator's feeling it just as much as the farm is. The margins are being cut in everything. Every aspect of our business, they're getting tighter and tighter, but yet the cost of the technology is always increasing. So the board and I are always having conversation on that. What do we need to do? What kind of services do we need to provide? There's several different ones that we're looking at now, trying to get more on supplying them stuff directly for the farm as opposed to for the crops. So we've got a few things that we're looking at, trying to help those farmers out. Alan, you'll find that at our Kossuth location. We've experienced a lot of growth in the farmers down there in that area. The other cooperatives that are in that area have done a lot of consolidation, and they've taken on the attitude of having the hub facilities. And we have found that farmers in that area don't really want to make that move to the hub. So they've come to us because they want to have that person sitting across the desk from them. As an answer to them, we have increased the capacity down there. We have added to the equipment that you see, as well as our own application equipment, trying to bring the products to them so that we can serve them the way they need to be served.
If somebody wanted a little bit more information about what's going on here at United Equity, where can they go?
They could always go to our website at www.unitedequityinc.com. There they will find the local grain prices that are up to minute because we're connected with Chicago Board of Trade, as well as information on agronomy, feed, seed, all of the products that we carry here. We also have a Facebook page in order to provide them with current information.
Well, Jackie, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you very much, Alan.
We'll be back with more in Ohio Country Today right after this.